I probably need a shower. I'll do it tomorrow. Hi everyone. Welcome to Saturday. We ordered a few things that arrived today. Well, they arrived yesterday, and it has now been 1 day of quarantine. It's our little rule that we're going to be installing today, and I'm really excited about it because it will mean Mal will have consistently good Ethernet. We got a switch for Ethernet, and then also an Ethernet cable. And the reason that we did this is because at this point, I guess it's been like a year. A year ago, we ordered the Orbi, which is a mesh network to have wireless in the house, because the house was, it was a bigger place than we've ever lived before, and the router that we had was not getting Wi-Fi to the entire place. So we tried the Orbi, and the Orbi has been, it's been a bit of a roller coaster. Is it a product I would recommend? Personally, no. I don't think I would. People still like them. They review pretty well online, so like they're clearly working for some people, but we've had a lot of different problems with it over the past year that we've owned it. And the biggest problem is just the incredible inconsistency of the speeds and also the connection status with the Orbi. Sometimes we'll be on our phones in the bedroom, and it'll just be like, there's no internet. I'll be like, oh, and then it'll come back and everything will be fine. So it feels like it drops a lot. And we've reset it, and I've tried a bunch of different things to fix it, and I'm not sure exactly what the problem is. And I don't know that it's inherent of mesh networks as a whole, but for us, the Orbi has not worked very well. One of the things that you may have noticed, I don't know if I've addressed this on the vlog, is that there's a big Ethernet cable that runs all through the house here. And we had put that up last November, October, November, whenever Extra Life was, for Extra Life. So we would have Ethernet downstairs to make sure that the stream didn't drop. And it worked, because we streamed for 20 hours straight with no problems. But we re-ran that cable down here to plug into the television because we couldn't watch shows anymore. For the longest time, everything was fine. And we have one of the Orbi satellites, I don't know if you can see it, sitting behind the TV. And we had that plugged directly in with Ethernet to the television. And then, of course, the satellite connects to the router with wireless. And for a long time, we didn't have any problems. And then one day it was like, I don't work well anymore. And half the time when we would turn the TV on, it wouldn't be able to figure out that we had internet, or we'd start watching a YouTube video and it would get halfway and it would be like, no internet detected. So after a while of losing our minds and screaming, we just ran that cable from Extra Life back down here, and then we just had a direct wired connection. Obviously haven't had any problems since then. The problem is Mal, is very far away from the router, so she's been working off of Wi-Fi, and her internet also ends up going in and out. And we actually got a power line adapter, and that's helped, but it's not ideal because in order to use it, I have to unplug something. And the something that I unplug is the TV. So then what happens is I plug up Mal's power line adapter, so she'll have, not wired, but directly kind of wired internet into her studio. And then it'll be dinner time. We'll come out here and get ready to watch something, and I will have forgotten to have switched back to this. And we start watching something and realize it's not working. Then I have to go upstairs, swap out the cables, and then come back downstairs. So it's a huge pain. So we got the switch because we're just going to take this cable, run it into the studio, go into the switch, and then Mal will have just a bunch of Ethernet ports there that go directly to the router, and then we'll run a cable back out to the television. So that's what we're doing today. And this is really good because she'll have the fastest internet she's ever had in her studio. And it also affects things like game night. There have been times, at least before we were using Powerline for Mal, that on Discord when we're recording Steven and Friends, Mal's audio would get real garbled because the Wi-Fi connection was not good enough. And it's crazy. It really is crazy because when you open up the little Orbi app, it tells you like that it's good. It's like, yeah, this satellite is good. It is connecting with full power to the router. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. And mouse connected directly into that satellite. And then at some point it just goes, wait, no, this is bad. And I'm like, well, then why? So I don't know what's changing, but something has clearly changed. And I don't know, maybe there's some sort of other frequency interference that's happened in the neighborhood since then. Maybe that's why it worked for a little bit and then stopped working. I don't know. I've even like done a hard reset of the whole system and it still didn't fix it. So we're still going to have the Orbi because we still need Wi-Fi and I don't want to deal with having to figure out another Wi-Fi solution. But for all of the stuff that is work related and is important and we need the speeds, we're just going to move to a direct wired setup. And does it mean that we'll have cables throughout the house? I mean, yeah, but we've also had them throughout the house now for a few months. And like, we don't care. It's fine. One day we will move and we'll be in a different place and we will have wired Ethernet throughout the house. Like we'll drill holes and it'll go in the walls and stuff. And we'll just have, consistently fast speeds no matter where we are. And we'll figure out a really good Wi-Fi solution. But for us right now, the Orbi ain't it. Sadly. Anyway. Let's hook up this switch. All right, so now this wire connects over here and then drops down to the floor because the only crack in the door is at the bottom. And then goes around the back and connects to the switch. And then, of course, from the switch to the computer where we are now getting
500 and 326.
Real speeds.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm glad that worked. And also, like, this is so easy.
Yeah.
This thing, this switch was $30, and it's it. Like, there's no setup. You just run the cables, and it just automatically works. So for $30, and then whatever the price of that other Ethernet cable to go from that to the TV, haven't set that up, but we will by dinner time because we'll want to watch something.
No, we're going to do that now, so I can put the piece of tape to hold it temporarily.
We're going to do it now? Okay, well then we'll do it now. But the Ethernet's super cheap too, so yeah, if you have problems with Wi-Fi, Powerline might be a good option if you just can't run wires. But if you can run wires and you don't mind running wires, wires are cheap. Switches are cheap. Get what you pay for, especially if Wi-Fi, if you're having trouble with Wi-Fi in your location. So today being Saturday, there was a game night tonight, and we were actually really excited about it because we had, set up all the wiring for Mal, so she would be finally on Ethernet. And we were going to be recording more Animal Crossing tonight. We were going to be showing off Lindsay's Island. And then we couldn't connect. And we couldn't do anything. And we went online and looked at the status of the Nintendo Switch Online service, and it was down. And we were like, oh. So, we tried to aim to start at 9, and, it was probably around 9:30, still wasn't up. And I said, I'll tell you what, if it's not up by 10, then we're just going to not record anything tonight. We'll just hang out. We'll record it next week because we actually have quite a few Stephen and Friends episodes like in the bank, so it's fine. Nothing's gonna fall apart if we don't. And everyone said okay. So 10 o'clock rolled around, still wasn't working. And I was like, all right, fine. And then about 10:15, the people were like, wait, I think it's working again. And then everyone was like, are we going to do it? And I was like, no. I said at 10. It's past 10. And also I was worried that maybe we would get started on an episode and then the service would go back down. So we didn't record anything tonight. That being said, we still played Animal Crossing. We played a lot of Animal Crossing. Because everyone's still excited to hang out. And, it's our social time for the week. And what was so interesting is that in the midst of all of this, just playing Animal Crossing, we've been doing like flower watering parties because there's bonuses. Your flowers have a higher potential of putting out interesting colors if multiple people water them. So we'll take groups of people to everyone's islands and, just water their flowers for them. While we were over at Emmy's Island, I was just playing around in one of the villagers' houses, and I glitched through a chair. And when I glitched through the chair, I was able to glitch out of bounds. And I was like, oh. So then everyone started like coming in to the villager's house to see me. And I was, they could see that I was like out of bounds of the thing. And I was getting a chance to take some really interesting photos because I was doing it from the perspective of, someone that's outside of the boundary of the game area. And it was really, really neat. And we tried a few things to see if we could get it to happen again, and we could. And it turns out that the glitch I discovered is consistent, and you can continue to make it happen. I don't follow the glitches online, so I don't know if this is something that's already been discovered. It quite possibly has been, but I don't know because I don't follow that. But I know that I figured one out tonight, and we know how to do it, which is really neat. So, maybe tomorrow, if I get a chance, I'll try and talk more about that so people know how to do it, because it leads to some really funny photos. And we tried it. We tried it in a few different scenarios and figured out exactly how it functions, and we were able to get into the ocean. And we like took pictures with like the seaplane and things like that, which was really cool. We also used it to get on top of the museum, which was neat. So it's not anything that affects gameplay. It's just like an aesthetic thing that you can break the boundaries of the game. But it was cool. It was really cool. So yeah, I'll talk a little bit about that tomorrow maybe, and try and outline exactly how you do it. But for now, I'm going to bed because it's late. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, let's be back tomorrow, shall we?